All right, what it do, y'all? We are here for episode 2 of Young and Reckless. This one was good. Good. First episode was good too, but this one was good. We got a lot of action going on here. We got a lot of baddies showing up. Y'all know which one I'm excited to see. Actually, there's another one too, but we'll get into it. But if you're new here, hit subscribe. Do that right now. Turn your post notifications on all. I'm going to be here all season. Thumbs up the video as well. Drop a comment down below. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Share the video because this is new to my channel. This Now That's TV content. But yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's go. All right, so we get back with Lauren versus Minnie. And they kind of showed the same thing that we saw at the end of the episode, so we don't really talk about that. But Lauren socked her in her jaw good. And she said she did it because respectfully, she asked her to leave her room. Minnie challenged her, telling her to make her move and make her get up out of her room. And she did what she did. He had told her to make her get out of the room. And that's exactly what she did. She made her get up out of that room. But Lauren ends up saying that she feels like somebody put a battery in Minnie's back. And she don't play that shit. Like, she don't play with bitches coming in her space trying to challenge her. And she put her out like she asked her to, which I agree. I'm the same way. I don't play about my space. And you're not going to punk me. You come in here trying to punk me, you're going to get what you're asking for. And that's how Lauren is. But Lauren ends up stating, too, you've been popping it since you got here. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? But Chastity, who I can already tell she going to be the one in the confessionals that we enjoy, because she says what we all thinking. I don't know how it's going to bode over well for her in the future within the cast, depending on how her beefs end up lining up. Because I can already tell if she don't have beef with somebody and she keeps it too real, somebody going to want her at the reunion. But she ends up stating like she could tell that Lauren was ready for that. But she then again said too, she wasn't really expecting it from her. But she's laughing in her confessionals about how that hit, that first punch that connected to Minnie's jaw, how loud it was and it echoed. And she said that she'd have been crying too, like Minnie. But Minnie's now talking about how Lauren is done. She's done. Okay. But she ends up hearing from downstairs Lauren pretty much talking or whatever, and she tries to run through security. They stop her. She's now crying now because she's freaking out because she wants to get down there and they're not letting her get down there. But Lauren, she's in there telling Ferrari about Minnie trying her earlier, and now she's going to terrorize her for the rest of the season. I want to see it because you keep trying to big dog somebody, and you could tell Minnie got a battery in her back. She's trying to big dog people for the show, and she tried the wrong one, and now she done dealt with the wrong one. But Ferrari, she likes Lauren, obviously, because she can already tell Lauren is going to be one of her stars this season. We'll see if it really happens for the rest, but I'm enjoying Lauren right now. But she already likes that because she's standing on business, too. But she gives Lauren a bonnet to go downstairs so they can get it again. Minnie comes running down. They're downstairs now. They squared up for round 2. Round 1, I gave it to Lauren. Round 2, they get to going. And they're downstairs. Lauren was sitting there stating... No, I don't know why I said Lauren was drinking. I said Lauren was doinking. That's what I meant to say. She was doinking her up in that corner. Like when they first got it up, they both was swinging and both was connecting. But Lauren was getting up. She was getting her in that corner. When she got her in that corner, she was really doing her business. So that's 2 for 2 with Lauren. Security breaks that up. Minnie says, you thought you ate. She did. She didn't think she knows she did. And that's what she said. She said, I did. And you taste good, bitch. But Minnie is now stating that you ain't got hands. She do. She had more hands that connected on yours than yours did to her. But Lauren says, you want to go again? Like you sitting here talking all this shit. You want to go again? We can go again. She says, come on. Lauren says, I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. But after this, no more. There's no more after this. She gave her a chance to redeem herself. They squared up at like the same thing in the second round. It looked like a tie at first. But Lauren is smart. Lauren backs her into that corner and starts getting her again. Like she was walking her into that corner and started getting her good. Minnie sitting there trying to grab because she can't handle Lauren. Lauren was overpowering her and was really giving her that work. That is 3 for 3 with Lauren. She owns Minnie. Like Minnie can't beat her, and they fight again later on, and we'll get to that too. But Chastity was like, Lauren really got them thumpers, and she do. But Minnie, she's upstairs now, and she's screaming and hollering. While Lauren's downstairs, unbothered, smiling, smirking, proud of what she did. She said, can I get her bed now? Like, she proud of it. Because Lauren didn't. That's the thing, too. Lauren can do this because Lauren wasn't bothering nobody. Minnie came in there trying to press her after she tried to press Amber and tried to call people out. You pressed the wrong one. Then you got the business that you got. So now I'm going to antagonize you. So I get Lauren. I would have been doing the same thing. But Minnie's now upstairs. She's crashing out to Ferrari. Ferrari's telling her, like, you're the definition of young and reckless. How many times are you going to say reckless for Ferrari? We don't need to hear it anymore. We get it. But she told her, essentially, you're going to Cancun, obviously, because she done started all this shit. But Minnie's still crashing out, pretty much trying to show out, saying that she keep it cool, but she want to be a cute bitch. And if you think you're going to punk me, you crazy. I said, nobody was trying you. Nobody was trying you. Every fight that you've had, you started. You came in when Amber came in trying to hug you. You wanted to fight her because a previous fight she got blood too close to you. And then you start trying to press Lauren and Cy. Cy's a punk. Lauren is not a punk. You kept trying to press her. You let somebody put a battery in your back to come in there and press her. And you got what you was asking for. You just didn't know that she was going to get your ass whooped. But Ferrari and Amber, they're in the bathroom now. Amber's pretty much telling her about Minnie pressing her and whatever. And she feels like she got the first round. And Minnie got the second round. I agree. I feel like I feel like Amber definitely got. Do I feel like that? I feel like it was maybe a tie, but I'll give it to her. She said she wanted it, she got it. But that second round, Minnie definitely got her. But Amber, she ends up stating that bitches is just looking for a moment, and she thought that she was going to be the easiest target, aka Minnie thought that Amber was going to be the easiest target because she's pretty and small. I do believe that. I do agree. But Ferrari ends up asking her, like, what are y'all even beefing for? She ends up telling her what they was beefing about, and Amber said she didn't expect it, and she walked into the house thinking that everybody was cool with her because apparently in the group chat nobody even said anything or gave her any inclination of there being a possible beef, and she was going to give her a hug, and that's when the shit started because she saw the cameras rolling, and that's when Minnie switched up, which we all saw that to be true. But Ferrari ends up stating that Amber, she likes Amber because she's pretty, she's a vibe, she's lit, and she popped her shit at the auditions. So she also then tells Amber too that basically she told Minnie to dead their issue because essentially at this point it's stupid, there's no reason to keep doing it, and there's new girls coming too, aka get your issue out somebody else. Like actually have a real storyline, have a real reason to fight. But she then tells Ferrari then tells her, like, if she's here to stay, talking about Amber, if you're here to stay, how do you feel about the rest of the girls? Amber's like, she is staying, she says, but I feel like some of the girls tried to take that moment that her and Minnie had and tried to make it their moment. But downstairs, Minnie is now talking to Amber now because Ferrari had left this scene. Amber's still downstairs in the bathroom, and now Minnie's sitting there trying to press her again. Like, you're a weirdo. Telling her it's time for her to pack up and go home. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Why are you trying to press her? Why don't you go try and press Lauren again? But we know why you won't do that. But she's telling Amber that she's boring and she ain't even staying on business. It's the first day. And there's people in the house that you could call boring who haven't really done any. Okay. But Amber says that she doing all this shit and she ain't even getting a check. She says all you doing is just trying to get on other shows so you can get beat up by other girls too. And Amber's like, I'm not here for that. Amber basically is here for the promotion and to get herself exposure so she can maximize her popularity off of the show, which is what you should do. Like, why do you want to keep being on the show fighting? Like, I don't get that, especially if you're supposed to be a pretty girl. But Minnie's trying to swing on her behind security. Yasmin ends up stating that Amber said that she was going to fight Minnie tomorrow. But Amber ends up stating in her confessionals that she's talking to Caribbean, and she's telling her, like, I only want to fight unless it's like some real animosity, like, aka I have a real reason to want to fight. Hello, anybody in their right mind should be thinking the same way as her. I'm not fighting nobody for no reason. But if you're trying to punk me, then I will. But I'm not going to actively go out of my way to fight somebody if I don't have a real reason to do that. So I get where she's coming from. But Caribbean does as well. Caribbean's there to have a good time. She says, like, I'm expecting these bitches to be in here trying to pick fights over stupid shit. But I'm ready for whatever. If they try it with me, they're going to have to handle it. But regardless, she's here for a lit time. And she's pretty. Like, Caribbean is pretty. But we get Cy, as Mel said, Jimmy Neutron. She says that she's not rowdy and she don't be doing too much for the cameras to get camera time. I said, we know how you get down. You boring, and then you try to have a moment because you realized in the previous season that you didn't do anything and you were boring. So you try to get a moment off of Legacy. But I said at the end of the day, like, you don't do anything, period, and you really shouldn't be here. But Kennedy is peeping how weird Minnie is and how she's wanting to continue to fight Amber when she ain't trying to fight. Like, basically, you're trying to bully her into fighting. And she says basically, like, the girls that are mad that Amber doesn't want to fight her back, you need to step in and take that fight. And I agree with her. If you're so mad about her not wanting to fight her, why don't you fight then? Like, y'all ain't doing it. Why don't you fight? If she don't want to fight, then you take the fight for her. I like Kennedy. It's episode 2. I'm going to wait till episode 5 to claim favorites, even though I already got 3. But Yeah, actually maybe 4. My favorites, as y'all know, is Alexis, Legacy. I'm gonna add Lauren, and I'm gonna add Kennedy. Those are my, and I like Chastity too, but we're gonna get to it. But she ends up stating that Kennedy says if somebody blacked her eye, they're gonna get that every day. Who you telling? But Snow comes in there with them, and she pretty much tells him, like, I just met Amber the other night. And after she had fought, she just went over there and checked on her as a good person would, because she was bleeding and stuff. And Kennedy's like, yeah, real bitches check on real bitches. But Snow then says how they've been pretty much asking her why she didn't fight for her friend. And they show a flashback of it. And Snow was like, I can't control the next bitch. And not only that, she's not even my friend because I just met her. Like, hello? And then they pretty much are telling her, because Yasmin ends up telling her in that scene that I thought this was your homegirl. And she said that she didn't want to fight, so you need to get that. You get that. Like, that's not her homegirl, first of all. And not only that, she don't have to fight for her. She don't have to. And Snow says the same thing. Like, I came in here by myself. I'm not fighting for nobody but me. You're real. Like, I wouldn't either. But Sai, she ends up expecting her ops to come in. And this is when they usher in and introduce the finest thing walking, the one that I'm excited to see, my crush for real, Alexis. She arrives. She's from New Jersey. As we all know, she was on Blue Girls Club. She got them hands. She pretty and she got them hands. And she comes in with the energy. Ferrari likes her. Obviously, she's pretty. She's a vibe. Ferrari introduces Alexis to the girls. Minnie is loving her because they had their Jersey connection. We'll see if that stays. I want to see how their connection or whatever it is progresses throughout the show. I want to see if she ends up pissing Alexis off. But Ferrari, she ends up asking Alexis, like, do you know anybody here? And she's like, no, I mean, I know Nugg from season 2, a.k.a. like, I know who she is, but I don't really know nobody in here personally. Ferrari then asks her, like, do you have anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to handle? Alexis says simply, I don't want to chit-chat, but sorry, I need that. Easy. Straight off the gate, get it up, let's go. So Sai gets up and gets parked on that couch. Because if you don't know, you now know Alexis got them hands. If you watch the Blue Girls Club, you already know she do. So she was bopping her all in her head, got her on the couch. Security breaks that up. Round 1, Alexis, easy. Security breaks it up. So Ferrari ends up saying, I thought you ain't know nobody. But Sai is sitting there talking about something. Come on, Captain Saberho. Come on, Captain. Just running her mouth. And she running it in the confessionals too, talking about she was hoping that Alexis came in there like, I need that because I was waiting on you. You know you wasn't really waiting on her like you wanted it. Like you knew you had it coming. That's what you mean you was waiting. And she says Alexis should have ran up like her friend was supposed to do, talking about Shay Benz. And she says, I gave you the opportunity to get up. And I'm like, you are the one that should have been up and trying to run up on her because you the one that can't fight and you know that she can. Like, if anything, you the one that needs the advantage. She don't need it. She tried to give you multiple times to actually get an advantage over her. But we'll see it in a minute. But Sai ends up talking about how the producers need to roll the footage back of when she had pepper sprayed Shay at the auditions like a punk instead of running them hands. And she tried to act like that was such a flex or whatever, but she then says, too, that she would have pepper sprayed Alexis, too, if she was there. But in the real scene, Alexis is telling her that she is a pussy, which she is, and says that Shay stood on business for her on season 1 with Cuzzo. She's repaying that favor for Shay. That's real. That's a real friend. But Alexis, she says she's going to be standing on business for Shay because bitches is fake, and they trying to act like they don't know nobody, but they sitting here turning their back on people. Sai is now sitting there trying to call her broke or whatever. And Alexis is like, who's broke? You the one that be out here stealing. Like, who is really broke? But Alexis says that she don't even know why Sai is there because she ain't young, reckless, and she don't stand on business, and she quiet all season. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? But Caribbean likes Alexis. She liked how she came in here standing on business, and she's pretty. Pretty recognizes pretty. But Ferrari is sitting there congratulating Alexis for being there, and Alexis is like, I don't even know why Sai is there. She don't really care about them congratulations. She's like, I don't know why this girl is here. Like, get her up out of here. And Ferrari's like, Alexis ends up telling her that she's fighting Sai because of Shay and what they had going on. And Ferrari's sitting there trying to act like she don't know who Shay Benz is. I'm like, you don't know Shay Benz, the girl that you casted on your season 1, your introduction season of this show. Ferrari's trying to be shady, which I think is interesting because if I'm remembering correctly from what I saw on social media, it looks like Shay Benz is back for the All-Stars version of this show. Alexis is on there too. But Sai is running her mouth still. Alexis had told her to come on. Like, come on. They squaring it up again, and Alexis is giving her a chance to actually get the first punch. Like, literally saying, look, you know you ain't no competition for me. I'm giving you the opportunity to get the first punch. Side sitting there talking about something, come on. I said, you should have ran up. Because they started getting at it, and Alexis threw probably 10 punches. And when I tell you all 10 of them punches connected, she know how to fight. Like, she knows how to fight, and she's accurate. You can tell she got technique. She showed different forms. In the first round, she was throwing overhands. This one, she threw about maybe 4 overhands, bopping her on her head. Then got up under it with about 5 uppercuts that all connected, sending that girl straight to the ground, parked her. And it was funny because Minnie in the background talking about something, eat side. And then when she realized she wasn't eating, she said, she ain't eating. She ain't. She ain't. But Alexis is retying her hair and her shoes now, and Side tries to run up on her while she's tying her shoes. Security stops it. Alexis peeked and was like, "Oh, you funny? You trying to do me like you did Legacy?" But they square up again, and Side is sitting there trying to clown Alexis because Alexis is holding her pants up. And I'm like, how you trying to clown somebody when you can't fight and you've lost both rounds already? And Alexis is looking at her like you stupid, and you can tell again Alexis was trying to give her an opportunity to get a hit in. And she's sitting here doing all this clowning and shit. And Alexis is just like, man, fuck it. Got up on her ass, popped her again, got her down on the ground. She's sitting there kicking because she had no other way to get Alexis. And she ends up kicking Alexis in her mouth. And regardless, it's 3 for 3 for Alexis too. She tore Sai up. But Sai's on the ground. She gets up talking about something. Look at that. Look at that lip. And I'm like... And Alexis said, like, you failed, bitch. I had you on the ground. All you could do was kick. But Sai is explaining why she got her ass beat in them confessionals, trying to pump up her not being a punk. And she ends up saying, hoes want to fight me because they can't compete where they don't compare. You are not even in Alexis' stratosphere. You're not even in her league at all. You can't compare with her. You can't compete with her. But Sai is outside running her mouth. And Alexis is like, my teeth is big as shit. Like, you ain't even do shit. She didn't. But Alexis ends up stating, too, that the bitch ain't fucking with her, period. And that's why she kept it cute the rest of the season. We gonna see. We gonna see the rest of the season. I don't doubt her. But Alexis is clowning her about her being broke, flexing 2 bands on Instagram. She's like, that's my rent money. Like, be for real. But we get to see in a minute. She's standing in front of Lauren where the rest of the girls are downstairs. And Kennedy's like, what you about to do? Y'all about to bang? And Lauren told her not to walk too close, talking to Minnie. And Yaz is putting a battery in Minnie's back, talking about something, do something. You right here. Do it right here in my face. Minnie says, no batteries are in my back. I said, yeah, because they're already in your system. They already charged that shit up earlier. It's all now in you now. That's why you have all this energy. But Lauren is sitting there smirking, which lets you know Lauren is really about that life. Like, she ain't phased at all. But Kennedy ends up stating that there ain't no batteries in your bag because we ain't see y'all fight. So fight now. And guess what? The battery got charged up again because she then wants to fight again, and she got tore up again. Again, Lauren beat her ass again, but Ferrari comes in there and tells them to go to their rooms. So Minnie's upstairs in the room with Nugg and Yasmin, the two that she wants to be best friends with. And she's trying to plead her case to them because she wants to be liked by them. But Nugg clearly looks over her. Completely looks over her. Out of the two of them, she looks the most over her. But Ferrari comes in there asking what they're talking about. And Nugg and Yaz end up stating that they're pretty much telling Minnie she need to chill out, which she does. But Ferrari ends up stating, like, yeah, because today we trying to figure out who's going to stay and who's going to go. But she also then says, like, Minnie is too drunk and she needs to find somebody else to pick on. But she then tells them that she needs her girls to show out. I'm like, so do you want them to fight or no? But Nugg ends up stating, like, what do you want? You want us to do backflips and stuff? Because if there ain't no beef, I'm not about to be fighting. I said, oh, Nugg, are you trying to be likable this season? Because right now you are, but we'll see next week. It looks like it's about to go straight down. But Ferrari ends up stating, like, what do you think it means to be reckless? No, what do you think it means to be reckless? Which she gets asked this question in a minute, but we're going to talk about it. But Nugg ends up stating, like, I am standing on business. I've been asking people who's standing on business. And Nugg says, essentially, I'm not going to be punching bitches for no reason. I said, are you really trying to make me like you? We'll see. But Ferrari, she ends up asking if the 3 of them are staying in that one bed. That one bed. I wouldn't be. But Nugg says, like, what do you mean? And Minnie ends up saying, like, yeah, we're cool. We're cool. Us right here. I said, you want to be in a trio with them so bad. So bad. But Nugg ends up telling her, I told you to calm down because if you don't, you're going to have to get up out this room because if you're doing all this stuff and they bring this energy in here in my room, it's going to be a problem. I agree with her. But she ends up stating that. And she said, because we all got to stay in the same room. And Minnie ends up saying, like, but they're doing it to me. You started it and they retaliated. Like, be for real. Nugg says, keep it real. Nah, you was doing it to them. I said, exactly. But Minnie's sitting there trying to deny it and says, like, it's them thinking they can do something to me. Delusional. But Minnie then says a bitch tried her and couldn't handle her. I said, I know you ain't talking about Lauren. I know you're not talking about Lauren. But Nugg then asked Yasmin how she feels about it. And she ends up saying, like, her and Lauren, talking about Minnie and Lauren and Minnie and Amber got it out. Minnie says, nah, Lauren took advantage of me because I was drunk. No, she didn't. You the one that came in her room after Yasmin and Ferrari put a battery in your back to go in there and press her about that. Well, not even press her, but just to come in there and press them about that room. And she was in there. So you sitting there talking, I didn't want to sleep with John. I'm not living in here. You weren't even in there with them. So it's like, what's the point of you coming in here? And like she said, if you're not going to stay in here, then get out. Why are you in here? And you tried to punk her. And then she told you and showed you that you can't punk me. Like, be for real. But Nugg says, but you went to her room. I said, exactly. But Minnie says, because motherfuckers told me to do it. Sounds like a personal problem because you don't have a mind of your own. And that the people that told her was Yasmin and Ferrari. But Nugg says, but you still did what they told you to do. And you thought she wasn't going to do nothing about it. I said, you might win this episode for me. But Ferrari, she ends up going to the next room. The next scene brings in a new set of girls. The first set of girls, we got the Vanity Sisters from Mean Girls. I don't know these girls, but they seem like they are a vibe. Y'all tell me if y'all like them. Are they fan favorites from these shows that they've been on? We got Hennessy and Kayla. They've been on multiple different shows. Ferrari welcomes them. They got good energy. You can tell they look like some real baddies, for real. But Kayla says that she came in off some buzz juice. Is that what she said? But Ferrari ends up saying that she might need some of that. But she ends up telling them that this is not Mean Girls or South Central Baddies, which I'm assuming these are the shows that they came from, for real, for real. But she says this is Young and Reckless. And Kayla says, what does that mean? I said, exactly. Finally ask her what it means to be young and reckless, because she's been asking everybody else, but she can't really give a definitive answer of what she expects from them. But Ferrari can't even give her an answer. She says, you going to tell me what that is? And you going to show me? I'm like, no, we want you to tell us what that is. But they said they ready to turn the shit up. Kayla says that she's excited and expecting to be running fades before they go to Mexico, because she wants to go to Mexico, essentially. Like, I'm ready to get these fades out so I can go to Mexico. But Ferrari ends up asking them who they got beef with. Hennessy says that she ain't got beef with nobody, but she's getting Zaniyah because it's long overdue, because apparently she had jumped her. And she says whoever wants it can get it, and if they try and jump Kayla, she's on it. I feel it. But Kayla ends up stating that she wants Zaniyah, and any bitch that wants it don't disrespect me. So they said essentially they be in rooms with ballers, like they got money, they're not no bums, I can tell. Ferrari ends up stating we ain't got no bum bitches this season. So I said, I was like, this season? That means you got some bum bitches on previous seasons, which she did. She did have some bum bitches on some other seasons. But the next girl arrives, and her name is Jules. She's from Queens. And guess who arrives after her? One of these stars of this franchise, Legacy. I'm excited to see Legacy back. She's one of my favorites. I just wish she knew how to fight. I do. But Zaniyah, she arrives after her. Y'all tell me what y'all feel about Zaniyah. Because for me, I like Zaniyah. What I've seen from her, she impressed me. We'll get to it in a minute. But I don't like that jumping shit that I have heard that she did. But other than that, I can tell I'm liking her vibe. We'll see how long it lasts, though. But they hear the rest of the girls coming in, and Kayla and Hennessy's like, I hope that ain't my op. And it is. But they come walking in. The other two, how many other girls was it? Two girls. So Legacy and old girl from Queens, they hugging everybody. Zaniyah comes in and hugs everybody but the two sisters, obviously. So they sit down and realize that Zaniyah and Kayla have on the same outfit. So they pretty much playing with each other. Kayla's like, why you got on the same clothes as me? Zaniyah says, I wear it better. They says, you don't. Zaniyah don't look too bad, but Kayla don't look too bad either. They both look good in what they're wearing. I don't see an issue. But Kayla says she's ready for it. And Hennessy and Kayla both are ready for it. Zaniyah don't look scared, though. Like, I was expecting her to be on some, like, hearing that she jumped. People that jump are punks in my mind. So I was expecting her to look a little bit feared, but she didn't look bothered by either one of them. So I was shocked with that. But Ferrari ends up stating, like, you can feel the tension between them because of their prior beef. Y'all let me know what their beef was. As we hear that she ended up jumping Hennessy, but I want to know what's the reason as to why she did that. But they start checking each other's temperature, and Kayla ends up asking Zaniyah if she wants it now or later. And Kayla ends up asking Zaniyah, Kayla ends up asking Zaniyah that, and Zaniyah ends up saying, you let me know. So Legacy is sitting there eating it up because she like, finally, it ain't something that I'm involved in. And she tells the girls that they look pretty and stuff. They do. Every girl in that scene does look good. But Ferrari, she ends up telling them that they're essentially eliminating people tonight, a.k.a. get it popping now. I want y'all to fight right now. That's what that is. But Zaniyah ends up saying that she knew that she had 2 pending fades coming in, so she was expecting it. Hennessy is sitting there trying to figure out who gonna run that fade first. And Kayla says, I'm not telling bitches what I'm about to do. Hennessy says she does. Regardless, it is what it is. But Hennessy says that her issue with Zaniyah is because she jumped her on the other shows. Kayla ends up getting up and starts kicking. And Zaniyah immediately gets ready. She goes in that kitchen and takes her wig off. She in there circling around, posting up. Kayla comes in there as well. She ain't got her wig on. They get to thumping. They was throwing them. Both of them were. The first round to me looked pretty even. Pretty even to me. Security broke it up. They go another round. Zaniyah was squaring up in a circle, and she's circling it up. And she's going to the left side, and Kayla looks to be a right dominant puncher. And Zaniyah walked right into that right hand. She walked right into it, and it hit her hard. But she got a chin on her because it did not phase her. She got to swing it. She missed the first one, but the right one came and it connected and hit Kayla right up in her chin. Right up in her chin. But as she's doing that, Kayla comes back and hits her in the head. So they going tit for tat because Zaniyah then gets her in the jaw again. But Kayla gets her on the couch and started uppercutting her. That was a good fight. And like I said, Zaniyah impressed me. She impressed me, especially what I saw for the next week, too. They go in another round, and she was impressing me, honestly. I was expecting her to get washed. But Zaniyah be in there. Kayla can fight, too. So we'll see how it really goes down. Both of them look like they got some bruises next week. But Jules versus Minnie, that's happening next week because Minnie's taking the fade for Amber because she said, if my friend don't want to fight, she ain't fighting. I'm going to fight for her. I respect it. Nugg versus Snow. Nugg versus Legacy. Here we go. Yasmin versus Jules. So there's a lot of fights going on. I want Alexis to teach Legacy how to fight because apparently they cool and look like a duo for this season. But we'll see. But y'all let me know what y'all thought on this first episode. Thumbs up the video. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe. Share that video. And I'll see y'all next Monday. Peace.